What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Neon Veil. I'm your host, Cousin Ryan, and this is part 2 of my interview with Dwayne, talking about what we did the past few weekends. We cut it up into 2 episodes just so we can fit this all in because we did a lot. Let's just go ahead and roll it back in, and so here we go. But yeah, man, that was a really fun Friday night. I'm really excited to talk about what we did the rest of the weekend. I know Saturday you kind of had a more chill time because you had to work, but I did have some fun stuff.
Let's hear about it. What'd you do?
I'm excited. So for the first time, I'm a big baseball fan, obviously, giant Angels fan. But we got to see what I consider the Globetrotters of baseball. And so I got to see the Savannah Bananas. They came into town.
So I'm not gonna lie. I saw your cat and I was like, where did I get a cat from? I was freaking out for a second.
Anyways, so thank you, Artemis makes a guest appearance on today's show. So the Savannah Bananas came into town, and they got to play. They played the party animals, which is, I guess, their traveling team, kind of the general for what the Globetrotters are. Dude, it was a great experience. Like, it was a really fun thing. It's a different spin on baseball. They have these different rules on a time limit of 2 hours. And how many runs, it's not how many runs are scored per inning, but whoever scored the most runs in an inning gets a point until the last inning, and then every run counts. It was just a cool experience. It's just like a fucking party.
That's cool.
A giant party. And it was really
cool.
All
over TikTok, and I've seen it all over TikTok, and I've wanted to go, and I just saw that they were in town, like right before, or maybe the day even you said it was the day I saw that they were in town. I was like, man, I wish I would have gone.
So they were there apparently. So they were here for 3 days: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I guess. And from the sounds of it, every single one sold out.
Yeah, that's what I saw. They were sold out instantly, from my understanding. And then on Ticketmaster, the cheapest tickets were like $200. I was like, yeah, I don't know who the teams are. I'm not gonna go.
So it was sold out. When we went, it was 100% sold out. The tickets for these weren't. You didn't get assigned seats. You just got to first come, first serve. So. Ugh. In the lower level, it's wherever you found a seat, that's where you were sitting for the game. We got ours right behind home plate, probably the last row right behind home plate.
Great seats, yeah.
We had great, amazing seats, and I have pictures and videos of that as well. Someone I do know was there as well. Her name is Rachel. She was upstairs in the suite section where we normally sit when we go to these games. And I guess like the food was included, but you had to upgrade your ticket, and food be included with it. So that was cool, but I did the whole get me peanuts and a beer, and I was happy at a baseball game.
Oh, definitely. That's all you need.
It was a carnival. It was a shit show of a baseball game. Obviously, like I love regular baseball, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And so I got some.
Honestly, the Aviator Stadium is beautiful. So it's
amazing. It's so pretty. Right. Parking everywhere, easy to get in and out of, in downtown Summerlin section. It was great. So in between innings, or even before the game, so like the game itself started at 7, but the show started at 6, and so they do a lot of intro stuff and warm-ups, do just different dance-offs, partying type stuff. It was really cool. The first video clip I'm going to show right now was they did a how long have you been married game throughout the stadium, and this was the couple that was standing, and I don't remember, I think they say in the video, but it was like 50 some odd years that these two were together. And we're going to go ahead and just throw this clip up.
56 years. And you still all the married couples, lots of them here, but you two stand alone. You have been married longer than anybody else. So George, I'm going to ask you an important question. What is the secret to long-lasting love?
Celebrating every month on the anniversary day.
He's making all of us look bad. That was the sweetest and most sincere answer I've ever heard in my life. Usually it's just say yes.
So
I was hoping he was going to say something a lot more fun.
in my head, I was thinking, oh, dude, say cheat or say something like so off the wall bizarre. Like that was your moment. So they did stuff like that, but they also did. They also had games in between. And so this 5-second clip I'm going to throw up, it was they were going around the stadium throwing bananas from the stands over the fence. And so the clip that I'm going to show where they brought in 2 fans to throw the bananas instead of a player because the players were walking around. And so this is what it looked like.
Oh, that's up there, Carter. Very nice. Go get it.
And so, you know, it was a cool experience to show, you know, the people out there getting really involved. And the fans are on a whole other level, dude. A whole other level.
That looked like fun, yeah.
It was fun. And then, you know, they did stuff like this out. Dancing, having a good time. You know, just really getting the crowd involved, and it was a cool experience. And I know I told you this too. I didn't get videos of it because I don't want videos of it, but they took their shirts off a lot. So, you know, what do you do? What do you do? What else?
You go to the bar.
Yeah. Let's see what else do I got. Oh, okay. So this clip, and I wish I would have saved this clip to show, but he did a limbo contest, and I'm going to say this very vaguely as a limbo contest with some, and they called out, they're like the grandmas for the show. And so this is what the limbo contest looked like, and I was laughing so hard, especially at the end of this clip.
Hello, girl. Oh, wow. Carol's bringing that heat. Let's see what Roz has. Roz is 66 years young. Oh, my goodness. Roz with the swag. Oh, wow. And here comes Carol around it up. She's 82 years young. Show it to her, Carol. Oh, with the gritty. She's with the gritty. Oh, my goodness. We got to know. How do you feel about Carol?
Grandma hitting the gritty.
The gritty. I loved it. So yeah, it was like, you know, like I said, like I've been saying the whole time, it was just, it's a wild show of involvement from the fans. The dance the entire time. If you watch the TikTok videos, he's dancing a lot, having a good time out there. It was cool. And one of the rules for the game is that if someone in the stands catches a foul ball, it's an out.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So what's funny is we're going. Yeah, it's super unfortunate. But the funny part was, and it was really kind of sad and really sad, was throughout most of the game, everyone dropped it. So like the first 6-7 innings, no one caught one.
Well, and I wonder if that's on purpose though, because they know.
I guess, but even when we're trying, so there was a lot of Savannah Banana fans there, and you know they're trying to catch it. If the party animals hit a foul ball, everyone tried to catch it. I watched a guy, he had a glove and it hit the palm of his glove and fell out. It's like, bro, come on, And
he wonders why he didn't get his chance.
Right. So, but at the 7th inning, I think it was the 7th inning, there was a fan who finally caught one, and they ran up into the stands, got the fan and brought him onto the field. And then they shut the lights off in the stadium, and they showed their appreciation to the fan by doing everyone playing their commercial.
Keep it going, Banana Nation. Here we go.
That's hilarious.
They stopped the game, brought the fan on the field, and did that. And it was so freaking fun, dude. I was dying laughing at that.
That's cool. I hope they come back.
I hope they do too. I really do.
I think it was time to do that.
Well, and they had, so the last 2 innings, they brought out some old MLB players, like actual players. There was a guy, I can't remember, I'm spacing on his name. His nickname was Spaceman. He was 78 years old or some shit. He used to play for the Red Sox back in the 70s, late 60s, early 70s. And then they brought in another guy who played for the Red Sox, who's a Las Vegas local. And you know what? I'm gonna have to go back through and find it. If I can find the pictures, I'll post it here. If not, I'll tell you guys in the comments who it was. Severantino or some crap. I'll have to look it up, but it was cool. And you know, they brought out the fans, or they brought out true players, which was really cool.
That's really cool.
They had one guy dress up as a Golden Knight, come out in a Mark Stone jersey with a hockey stick, get up to bat with the hockey stick. They really do. Oh, dude, and the best part was, for those of you who don't know, who haven't been to any sporting events here in Las Vegas or anything to do with the Golden Knights, during the national anthem, we are notorious for yelling out Knights during that part of the song where it says Knight. And that whole stadium screamed Knights so loud. And it was one of those, like, those feelings you get, you're just like, you tingling, you're like, oh, yes, my crowd.
Right in the back,
yeah, dude. And, you know, with us, especially with the Golden Knights being in the playoffs right now, it was such a great feeling to have that. So, but anyone who goes to a game here in Las Vegas or anything to do with the Knights, pay attention to that. It's going to happen. The Golden Knights fans did it in Canada during the first round of the playoffs.
You'll hear it at any event that has Knights fans at this point.
Anywhere the national anthem is going to be sung in Las Vegas, it's going to happen. No
I've heard it in other cities that has Knights fans.
Oh, really? Oh, dude, I love it. I love it so much. It's something that we do. And, you know, at first, when I first heard it, I was like,
yeah, it's definitely.
But now I'm like, all right.
You get used to it, I guess, as a local, and then now you learn to back it. But I can see where people don't like it
because it's the national anthem. People have
100%. Yeah, I get it.
About it, but whatever.
Everyone's got their nitpicks these days.
So, but that was. I'll come back to that. So I didn't mean to throw that out there that early. But the game was supposed to be 2 hours, and that, unfortunately, Saturday night we had a thunder and lightning storm out in Summerlin, which I know you didn't get to see it where you are on the Strip. But they stopped the game for about a half hour, 45 minutes because of the lightning and
that's a good thing that you were seated where you were, though, because had you not been, you would have been caught in the rain. But
yeah, dude, we had that. We were right, like maybe 2 or 3 rows in front of us is where the canopy ended. So we were saved from the rain. We were saved from all that, and it was fantastic.
You kind of sat perfectly. Man, I gotta sneeze, but I don't want to sneeze. That's the worst.
You know, but what's cool though is, unlike most games where like the players stay in the dugouts, both teams, Savannah Bananas and the Party Animals, they came out into the stands and were giving autographs.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And so then they called them back to the dugouts when it was time to play, but they let them go out and interact with the crowd. The band was going around playing in the crowd. There was a magician out there who was doing tricks and stuff like that with the crowd. It was just a cool experience. Like it was fun. I would do it again. It's different from regular baseball, obviously, so you have to go in there realizing that, but it was a fun experience for sure.
That's cool.
That was my Saturday night. Now we get to talk about, which was something we got to go do together, and it was a lot of fun. And I'll post pictures while we're talking. But we got to go watch the party of the Golden Knights playoffs game 2. Nighttime, baby, and it was fun. So for those of you who were come to visit for a game, I heard people that flew in that morning for the game, flew out that night. They were sitting next to us outside in the park.
Oh, really?
Before the game. Now I was listening to them. They were talking about it, and it was cool. I mean, they're true fans, obviously, but for locals and visitors alike, when it comes to about an hour and a half before the game, all the parking spots, parking lots, garages around the stadium have event parking fees, and it's like $20-$25 to park.
It's like $40.
Sometimes more. Well, it depends on where it is. I know New York is for season ticket holders, and it's expensive. MGM, I think you're right. I think that one was $40. Mandalay is $25 the last time I parked there. But we lucked out. The game was a noon game, and we got to go down early to start day drinking before it. Weird, right? So, to get down and park there and park for free as locals because we have our players' cards and we do our thing, and to pregame. And it was a lot of fun to go down there. I love it.
I love the environment of the Knights games, whether it be playoff games, normal games. It's always a nice little party atmosphere before the games start.
Mm-hmm.
And even during the nighttime, it's lively as could be. They had the screen set up for us to watch the game outside, so it was a great time.
So and that's it. So there, I'm posting the pictures of us walking. We walked through MGM into New York. We walked through New York, went outside to the park where, all the Knights fans and everyone gathers prior to the game at the beer house, at winners and losers. There was a bunch of pop-up stuff for corn dogs.
Yeah, they had all the food trucks that pop up, and then they had the live music going on at winners and losers.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool.
And then at the stadium, so outside T-Mobile Arena, they have the big tent with the big screen TV, so everyone who's not going inside to the game can watch the game outside, which is what we ended up doing. And Dwayne can blame me for that because we were waiting for tickets like we always do, like we've talked about in past episodes. You wait until you get down there, wait until puck drop, and I hesitated. I maybe a couple seconds too long, and
knowing when we sit down that we always set our limit at 100 to 150 a ticket. This guy, for some reason, hesitates when he finds two tickets side by side in section 9, you said?
Section 9, row E.
Yeah, so 5 rows from the glass in the lower bowl.
$100 a piece, and I hesitated a little too long.
For some reason, he looks at me, shows them to me, asks them. I don't even know what he's asking, honestly, truthfully.
I don't know why I asked. I should have just did it. But they were gone, and that was the only good seats that we saw the rest of the time, and I failed at that. So, but hey, we still have a few more games, and because I know we're going to make it to the Stanley Cups because we won that night. But before we get to that part, sitting outside, not only outside where the screen was, but they had a barber going on.
They had a barber. They had a tattooist going on.
Yeah.
So that was exciting. And people were lining it up for the tattoos. And there was no shade, and it was beaming the sun. I mean, my frail skin wouldn't have lasted 2 seconds in the sun had we not found some shade. I don't know how people were standing in line, getting sunburnt, and then getting a tattoo.
That was crazy. And there was a long line when we got there for
huge line.
For both the tattoo and the barbershop. And it blew my mind. I mean, the day before or the Friday, they had, I don't know if it was there, but they had people getting if you wanted to get married, you get married out there. They had someone out there. Did they have it? I missed it. I totally completely missed it. But it was cool. The whole vibe of it, because so for the fans, if going to a game is a whole experience, obviously. It's a great experience, but outside before the game is one giant party. And I got a clip to show. This is what happens right leading up to what they consider nighttime, right? Is what they call it.
Yeah, definitely.
So here is what we got to sit and watch, the little parade that happens. So, they walk through like that they start from the opposite side of New York, where the park begins, and they walk all the way through, getting the fans follow them. They go to the stage where the big screen is. They do a little, I think if I remember correctly, they did a little cheer, and the drum line went up there as well. And then they open the gates to the stadium, even though they're already open. That's like the main time everyone starts funneling in right then. It's like
that's the time not to go in the gates.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other cool thing they did though was the drones that they put above the stadium that spelled out "Go Knights Go" and then "Unite the Realm." So that was cool. I think you took a picture of that too.
Yeah, so I'll post a picture of that, of the "Go Knights Go," of the sky riding that they had up there. the funny part is like where it said "Go Knights Go," and then we were sitting there watching it, and we saw Unite.
Or I think that's all we could see.
I think we saw Unite because on the other where we were standing was where the Park MGM is, and we couldn't see the rest of the wording until you walked around to the other side of the park, and you're like, "Oh, Unite the Realm." That's what that says. Okay.
Yeah, they did it terribly placed because where we were standing, where the entrance is, Park MGM is blocking that whole skyline there, so you can't see at all past where it really said Unite. Maybe the T, honestly. I think we saw a couple letters, and we were like, we couldn't decipher what the next word was until, like you said, we walked past it and saw, oh, there's the rest of the word. But then they came back on the other side and had the same problem with the New York being in the way. It's like,
and the parking garage, you couldn't see what they were posting up here. So
who planned this?
Yeah, like, all right, we need to. I mean, that whole area is so clustered together that it's not easy to see everything.
I mean, but they could have done it all above T-Mobile, like facing the entrance, and then everybody would have been able to see it.
Right. Yeah, and and it was a really fun time. Even though we sat outside in the park, we had a perfect view. We had all these people around us who were out there watching it too and having a good time.
We got extremely lucky with our seats too because we had to bounce around a couple of times. Thankfully, we had the great idea to go inside and get some slushies to cool us down some, get a little drink in us, come back outside to find the best seats available. So we find the tables there by the lady in the park, whatever her name is.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We find some tables there, and then they're in the shade, perfectly for my skin, in the shade with some extra chairs, and then a perfect view of both screens. So we can see the side screen, and the good thing about T-Mobile is they play the screen or the game on the big screen above the entrance.
Yep, that's right.
So we had a perfect view of both of the screens.
Because you were watching the one screen and I was watching the T-Mobile screen.
I'll send you the videos that I have that show you.
Yeah, and we'll throw that up there. We'll throw these on here as well of what those were. It was a fun time, and it was cool though. Even though we sat out there until the sun got right over us and we lost our shade. We walked over to Level Up at MGM and got to sit down in there and watch it on their couches. That was cool.
Definitely. That was a good experience and reserved over there just for you guys to know. It just means buy something there by the hostess. So if you see the reserve sign, just sit down. Rule of thumb anywhere in Vegas, if you see the reserve sign and no one's sitting there, just sit down until they tell you to move because they want the business as much as you want to sit there. So if you're willing to pay them whatever they want, buy the drink or two. You're going to buy a drink anyway sitting there. And we did.
And I'll say this, because as soon as we got there, we got drinks and sat down. We got drinks at the bartender and then sat down on the couches, and we were maybe halfway through our drinks when the waitress, and I can't fault her on this, I get it, is their rule, and she was super nice about it, but it was still kind of like, what the hell? She walked over and she's like, hey, just to let you guys know, this reserve means you have to order from me. And do you guys plan on ordering more drinks? We're like, yeah, we're going to be here for a bit. It's the third period. We're going to watch the rest of the game here. And what's funny.
It was only was
the second?
Yeah, the start of the second period, I think, at that point.
That's right. Might have been.
Because we left the second.
Yeah, that's right. And what was funny is like, because she walked away, we're like, yeah, come back. And then she didn't come back until
I was sipping air.
Yeah. And then she finally came back and got us our drinks. And she was super nice about it, super chill. But there was maybe three of us, me, you and I, and then one other guy.
Yeah, one other guy. Because the two guys next to us left almost instantly. So
yeah, and so it's like, all right, like I get it.
The actual funny thing is, okay, let's say it was actually reserved for somebody and they show up. And then she gives us a spiel, but the seats right behind it, touching the couch, were the exact same seat, basically.
Well, so yeah, because there was the couch, and then right behind us was the tabletops, the high level tabletops with comfy chairs anyway. So it's like,
exactly.
Okay, like
if you had to move, okay, whatever.
So
you're still gonna be my server.
And it was cool, and we got to watch not only the hockey game, but we got to watch some of the PGA that was going on as well. And the level up bars, I will always talk about it because, like you mentioned when we got there, they had the virtual reality. That's really fun to go do. We have to go get you in there to do that. But on the other side of the bar, I don't know if you saw, they had all those games. They had a pool table, they had a shuffleboard.
They have Giant Pac-Man, they have basketball, shuffleboard, they have beer pong. There's the adult arcades.
Yeah, and it's a cool spot. I love Level Up. It's one of my favorite spots to go to when I tell people. And they do live bands almost every night. So later in the nights, they had a live band go up on stage and play. We didn't get to see that because I had to come back to do some filmings for our other show. But I love that place. So I highly recommend MGM Level Up for people to go not only watch sports, to grab a drink. The drinks weren't overly expensive for what they were. Apparently, if you order from the bar, it's cheaper from the waitress. We found that out the hard way as well. Blows my mind that was the case because he gave you a friggin' deal. And when I paid for the second round, it was way more. It was funny because we both got the same drink the first time, and it was less than what the second round was when you got the same thing and I got a beer, which I thought was hilarious. So
typically the beer would be cheaper, one would think.
Well, it was $9, but somehow your drink plus mine was $5-7 more than what you got when we both got, mixed drinks. So either way, it was just hilariously comical to me. But it was great to watch that the Golden Knights did win that game in overtime. So we're up by the time this comes out tomorrow, the 23rd, we're up 2-0 in the series and hopefully going to the Stanley Cup. And we're going to go get down there again and watch that.
We are definitely going to the Stanley Cup.
I'm sad that it wasn't like in prior years, and maybe it was the Stanley Cup the prior years that I'm thinking of, but there wasn't that many fans outside the stadium. Again, like you said, it was a Sunday. It was hot. Sun was over.
It was hot midday, and that's the reason I believe there was nobody there.
So hopefully the night games come around, that people will be there. I mean, they'll be back here for Game 5 if it's needed. So who knows? I might have to play
tomorrow next, right?
They play tomorrow night. Yeah, when this comes out, then we'll be probably almost done with Game 3 because this will air at 6:30 on the 23rd. So, actually, no. This part's going to air
on the
week after. The week after. So by this time this comes out, we'll know who.
We'll know if they're going or not.
Yeah, we'll know if they'll be in the Stanley Cup or not. So either way, it is what it is. And then I want to know though, because I know you went to dinner Sunday night. You don't have to say why you went to dinner, but where did you end up going?
We went to Yard House at Red Rock Casino.
Okay.
Which was a cool spot. I mean, Yard House, there's nothing just Vegas local. But Red Rock Casino is a nice casino that a lot of locals like to go to. It's just a little bit more laid back. They do have the new Rogue Room, which we need to go to soon.
We talk about this every time.
We sure do. So we definitely need to check that out here soon because that's the newest lounge that's kind of geared towards locals. And everyone's going there lately, so it's just a matter of us going there and talking about it.
It gives me a reason to suit up and dress fancy again because it is a nicer place. So I'm
definitely a little more upscale. Yeah.
No more nerdy shirts. I'll have to actually wear them.
Yeah.
You know me, that's how I roll. I always wear the nerdy shit. Gotta represent. But yeah, man, it's been a great few weeks. We've done so much, and I know we have a lot planned. It's summertime. I know you won't be joining me at the pool parties, but I'll be going to a lot of pool parties this summer.
I will drown.
So we will talk about that, and Dwayne and I will go. We're gonna go do shit that is coming. There's a lot of fun stuff happening.
I don't know. I'm about to turn 30 this week, so I'm gonna be old. So
yeah, Dwayne's gonna be 30.
Slow down.
One of our next episodes, I'm probably gonna have you come on again, but I'm going to Laughlin to go see Leonard Skinner, so we're gonna talk about that when I come back.
Where's my invite?
Hey, you know what? When your grandfather gets comp shit, you don't complain, you just go. So, but we'll talk about that, and we'll have some other stuff coming up. So, I was just really glad we got to come on today and talk about what we did because it was such a great week and a half, 2 weeks that we had to get this out there, talk about it.
Definitely, it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute, and it's fun shit that you can do here in Las Vegas that people don't think about.
Because it's all behind the scenes kind of Vegas too.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes if you're lucky and you're here, you're going to get to see some of this cool shit. But for those locals who are watching, this stuff happens. Just pay attention. Just
every day.
Keep an eye out.
There's always something going on that's unique.
For sure. And You know, that's why we're bringing it to the show. So, but Dwayne, I really appreciate you coming on today.
I
And
appreciate you every time.
come and talk to us bullshit. Is there anything you want to talk about before you go?
Not this time.
Not this time. Well, everyone, thank you again for joining us tonight on Beyond the Neon Veil. I'm your host, Cousin Ryan. This is my homie Dwayne. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Cousin Ryan 2021. If you come to Vegas and you want some ideas, reach out to me on Twitter or on YouTube, and I'll give you great ideas. Shit, if you come to Vegas and you have a story you want to tell, let me know. I'd love to do a show with you. Remember to click like, subscribe to the channel, Last American Heroes. And if you get a chance, go on over to our other videos and watch Benny and Moose Save America. Some great barroom trivia where I host a few of them, but I'm also the bartender, and it's a good time. We've had some good recordings the last few weeks, and so good shit's coming out. But again, I want to thank you all for being here and joining me. Dwayne, always a pleasure, dude. So I hope everyone has a great night, and we'll see you all later.